I used to think the way her nose crinkled when she laughed was the best thing about her. That was before I realized it was the same crinkle she gave him. And I paid for those teeth. Let me back up. My name's Luke Harland, 37, plumber, ex-football coach, homeowner in a town where people still wave when they drive by. I married Jenna 11 years ago. High school sweetheart. Cheerleader. The kind of girl who made you believe in hometown forever. She used to bring me lemonade in the summer when I worked on the front lawn. Used to brag to her friends that I was a real man with calluses and loyalty. Yeah? She laughs behind closed doors at the same hands she once kissed. And I know that for a fact. Because I heard her do it. It started 3 months ago. She got her teeth fixed. Braces off. Whitening done. Veneers on the top row. I paid for all of it over time without blinking. Told her she deserved to feel good in her skin again. I should have known something was wrong when she started smiling in photos she never showed me. The night I found out was a Wednesday. Ordinary as paper towels and weak coffee. She said she was heading to her friend Lila's for a girls' night. Wine, trash TV, the usual. I didn't question it. Even gave her my hoodie, it was cold out. But she left her iPad behind. And like every woman who thinks she's clever, she'd forgotten that her iMessages synced across all her devices. At first, I wasn't looking for anything. But then her screen lit up while I was feeding the dog. I can't stop thinking about last night. Still tastes like you. D. I just stared. It didn't feel real. You know those moments where your mind stutters like an engine trying to turn over? Yeah. That. I clicked it. And there it was. Dozens of messages. From someone named Dustin. He called her Jay and baby girl and my sweet dirty secret. One photo of them in the back seat of a car. Her lips around his thumb. Same crinkled nose. Same smile I'd paid for. I didn't throw the iPad. Didn't wake her up screaming. No. I took screenshots. Airdropped them to myself. And smiled. Because this wasn't rage. This was clarity. She'd chosen him, a 25-year-old tattooed bartender she'd met at the gym. Fine. I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. I was going to make her unravel. One tooth at a time. The next day, I kissed her on the forehead like nothing was wrong. I even texted her a link to a couple's spa weekend in Asheville just because you deserve it, babe. She replied with a dozen heart emojis. And I thought, perfect. Let's see how loyal emojis really are. The plan started small. Step 1. Get close to Dustin. You'd be amazed how easy it is to bait a man like that. I found his Instagram. Followed him from a fake profile, single mom, mid-30s, just out of a tough divorce. He bit immediately. He liked 3 posts. Commented on one, damn. Bet your ex is punching the wall. Then I sent him a DM. Bet your girl doesn't know how much you like curves and cameras. Attached, a fake nude from Google, blurred just enough. He replied with his number. Game on. Step 2, get Jenna to out herself. That Saturday, I asked her what she wanted to do for date night. She looked caught off guard, like she forgot we still did that. Maybe rain check? Lila's really going through it and I told her I'd come over. Of course, I said. Lila needs you. She smiled. And I thought, she has no idea she's lying to a man who already knows where Dustin lives, works, and where he'll be tonight. I sent Dustin a message. Told him I'd bring him something he'd never forget. He thought it was a hookup. He was half right. I drove by the motel on Route 8. Room 112. Just past midnight. Lights on. Curtains half closed. And through that slit, I saw her. On her knees. Laughing. Crinkled nose. New teeth. Smiling wide. And right then, I knew exactly how I begin the end. The thing about cheating is it's not the act. It's the performance after. The practiced innocence. The strategic affection. The way they say, I love you just a little too loud, just in case they're being watched. That's where Jenna lived now. Performing. She touched me more. Texted midday. Called me handsome again after 2 years of just, hey. It would have fooled a different man. But I'd already seen her real voice. The one she saved for Dustin. The one that moaned deeper like it was a promise. She still thought she was ahead of me. Still thought I was just dumb, loyal Luke who fixed leaks and didn't ask questions. So I leaned into it. Let her pretend. Let her feel safe. Because when a liar feels safe, they get bold. And that's when you can start to take pieces of them they don't even realize are missing. First piece? Her mirror. Jenna prided herself on being the cool wife. The kind who drank IPAs at barbecues and laughed at dirty jokes in the group chat. She hosted wine and Wordle nights for her girlfriends. Perfect setting. I created a burner Instagram. At Oak Ridge Wife Watcher. 1 post only. A zoomed-in still from that motel camera footage. Not explicit, just enough to make it unmistakable. Her hand on his thigh. His tattoo visible. Her laugh caught in a free frame. Caption. A local wife keeping her vows classy on Route 8. Room 112. Weekly. Tell your husbands. I didn't tag her. Didn't need to. I let it spread like mildew, quiet and slow through a handful of private story messages and anonymous tips sent to the very friends who came over for wine. Jenna found out 2 days later. I was in the kitchen making spaghetti. She stormed in, phone in hand, eyes wide with performative shock. Luke, someone's spreading sh*t about me online. Really? I stirred the sauce. It's sick. There's a picture some whore who kind of looks like me. One of the girls from work forwarded it. Crazy world, I said, tasting the tomato. She looked at me longer than she needed to. I think part of her suspected. But doubt is like rust, quiet, slow, always spreading. And I wasn't giving her proof yet. Just corrosion. The second piece I took? Her safety. Jenna's gym was one of those boutique places, small, tight-knit, filled with moms who wore $90 leggings and left with oat milk smoothies. I made a flyer. Anonymous. Plain. Black and white photo, Jenna and Dustin, blurred enough to look candid, not staged. Headline. Ask your trainer where he was last Thursday night. Ask his married client too. I printed 10. Posted them at dawn. By 10 a.m. they were taken down. But not before 3 other women messaged her. You okay? Saw something weird at the gym. Someone's out to get you. And she spiraled. Because Jenna couldn't handle not being liked. Not being safe. I got home that evening to find her drinking wine before dinner, scrolling obsessively, muttering to herself. You good? I asked. She looked up too fast. Yeah. Just internet trolls. Then she smiled at me. The same smile I bought. The same one I was now poisoning with context. Later that night, I kissed her on the forehead. Tucked Emmy in. And while Jenna showered, I placed a single envelope in her purse. No return name. Just her own photo. That motel freeze frame. And a note in block print. Every smile has a price. Someone's about to send you the bill. She didn't mention it the next day. But she didn't eat. Didn't make eye contact. Started locking her phone again. Too late for that now. Because the version of herself she sold to the world? I was dismantling it. Quietly. Thoroughly. And the best part? She still didn't know it was me. We always had dinner at her parents' place on the second Sunday of the month. Roast beef. Sweet tea. Gospel music humming low in the background while her mom pretended not to judge our chipped plates or how I chewed too loud. Jenna always brought the pie. And she always brought her performance. The perfect daughter. The glowing wife. The mother who made crafts with Emmy. But this Sunday she was off. Eyes darting. Shirt buttoned 1 too high. Makeup just slightly heavier than usual, like she was trying to paint over nerves. Her mother noticed. So, she asked, pouring sweet tea into those damn floral glasses, how's the gym going? Jenna flinched. Fine. Why? Her mother shrugged. Just asking. You usually won't shut up about your squat numbers. That's when I knew. She'd heard something. The gym flyer. The group texts. The church whisper network that moved faster than any virus. But she hadn't brought it up directly. Not yet. She was giving Jenna a chance to come clean. And Jenna? Smiled wide. Said, guess I'm just not as obsessed with it this month. She took a sip of tea and adjusted her hair like she'd said something clever. And I just watched. Fork in hand. Knowing what was coming next. You see, the real kill wasn't going to come from me. It was going to come from Lila, her best friend. The one she lied to weekly. The one who covered for her with fake alibis. The one who once said, Jenna's the kind of girl you trust with your husband and your baby. So I made sure Lila would be the next one to find out. Not from a stranger. From evidence. 2 nights earlier, while Jenna was in the shower, I'd used her face unlock to access her phone. Found a hidden album in her photo app. Titled Old Receipts. Except the photos weren't old. And they weren't receipts. Just her and Dustin. Kisses in his car. Her in a tank top I'd never seen before, tongue out like a teenager. And one video. 15 seconds. Not explicit, just raw. Her panting. Saying I can't wait to lie to him again. The him was me. I copied it. Sent it to an encrypted email address I'd created months earlier. Then I waited. On Monday morning, Lila got a package at her office. No note. No return address. Just a USB drive labeled, check on your girl. And when she opened it, all of it was there. The motel clips. The photos. The video. Jenna's voice. Clear as day. And Lila did exactly what I knew she'd do. She didn't call Jenna. She called her mother. By Tuesday night, the story had circled the block. Jenna got out of the shower and checked her phone like she always did, except this time she froze. I watched her from across the room. She read, scrolled, read again. Then she sat down on the edge of the bed, towel still on her head, hands shaking just slightly. She didn't say anything, not a word. She just sat there, because something had broken. She didn't know what people had seen. Who'd told who?
Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience, but we really need your support, namely a subscription to the channel, which can make it possible to hire a professional voice actor and make the best content for you.
How much they knew. But she knew something had slipped, and she was no longer in control. She started spiraling that week. Deleted Instagram, called in sick to the gym, snapped at me for leaving a wet towel on the bathroom floor, then apologized 10 seconds later like she was afraid I'd snap back. But I didn't. I was kind, patient, loving. The man she betrayed, now offering her comfort as her world crumbled behind the scenes. She had no idea who was pulling the thread, and she was too scared to ask. Because the moment she did, she'd lose the one person she thought would still stay. And that was the next step. Make her beg for something I'd already taken. For the first week after Lila stopped returning her texts, Jenna played dumb. Pretended it was just a busy schedule. Pretended it wasn't weird that her sister started liking all my posts and none of hers. But by day 10, the walls were closing in. That Thursday, she sat across from me at dinner, pushing peas around her plate, wearing one of those oversized sweatshirts she used to mock other women for. No makeup, no earrings, just swollen eyes and fingers that trembled slightly when she reached for her glass. She was unraveling from the inside out. And I just said, "You should talk to someone." She blinked up at me. "You think I need therapy?" "No," I said, cutting my steak. "I think you need to hear your own voice say things out loud. Without lying." That one hit her, right in the center. She didn't deny it. She just looked away and whispered, "You're being weird lately." I smiled. "Am I?" That night I took the next piece. Her motherhood. Not in a cruel way. Just in the most honest way possible. I sat Emmy down, just the two of us, and I asked her, "Has mommy been happy lately?" She shrugged. "She's tired. She doesn't read to me anymore." "What does she do when you go to bed?" "Texts. And sometimes she smells like smoke when she kisses me." Jenna didn't smoke, but he did. I nodded and said, "You know, if there's ever something you want to ask mommy, you always can. She might be sad right now, but she still loves you." Emmy looked up. "Do you love her?" I paused, then said, "I love the part of her that made you. That satisfied her. But for Jenna, that would haunt." The next day, I left her a note on the counter. Folded plain, just her name. Inside, "You lost Lila. You lost your gym. You're losing me. Ask yourself how many more versions of you are left to lose." She didn't mention the note. She started baking cookies the next day, then pancakes the morning after that. The Jenna Show was back on air, bigger smiles, louder laughs, exaggerated affection toward Emmy. Except Emmy noticed. Kids always do. On Saturday morning, she said, "Mommy's trying too hard." I didn't laugh, just nodded. By Sunday, I'd prepared the final blow of this phase. Not confrontation. Confirmation. Jenna had started lying again. Said she was going to Target to get her mind off things. She put on her nicer jeans, a flannel she only wore when she wanted to be flirted with. I let her leave. Then I drove to Target. She wasn't there. Of course she wasn't. I followed her, not with a car, not in person. I had already installed a GPS tracker in her purse. She was on the east side, 3 blocks from Dustin's apartment. But I didn't need to see her go inside. Instead, I texted her, "Don't forget the toothpaste. We're out." She didn't reply. Not for 30 minutes. When she did, it said, "Sorry, totally spaced. Grabbing it now." And I responded with the final nail. "They don't sell toothpaste on his side of town." No reply. Not that night. Not the next morning. Just a silent woman curled up in a blanket on the couch. Eyes glassy. phone face down on the coffee table. She was too afraid to ask me how much I knew, and I was too patient to tell her, because the moment she asked, she'd be admitting it, out loud, and then I'd finally be free, not legally, emotionally, because this wasn't about punishing her anymore. It was about burning the mask she'd lived behind, and watching her realize she didn't even like the face underneath. By the time Jenna started crying at the dinner table, it was already too late. She had this idea, probably borrowed from some Instagram therapist, that if she could own her mistakes in a raw, emotional way, people would forgive her. So she sat across from me, lip trembling, eyes watering like a faucet she couldn't find the handle to shut off. "I just want to tell the truth," she said. I nodded. "I'm listening. I was lonely. I didn't feel seen. And I made a mistake with him. With him. Like he was a season, not a man. I wanted to feel wanted again." I tilted my head. "And you felt that at the motel?" She blinked. "What? Room 112. Thursdays." She froze. Her fork clinked against the plate. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't lean in. Just let it sit there, heavy and surgical. "You lied to your daughter. Your parents. Your best friend. You lied to me while I rubbed your back and made your tea and paid for the smile you gave to someone else." "I didn't plan it," she said, the tears now coming harder. "That's the thing about accidents," I said. "They don't repeat themselves weekly." She pushed back from the table and stormed into the living room. I followed, but not to fight. To finish. 2 weeks earlier, I bought a baby monitor off Facebook Marketplace. One of those high-end models with HD video and two-way audio. The kind people use to keep tabs on their toddlers while they sleep. Or on their wives when they are on the phone. I hid it behind a stack of dusty books in the study. She never touched them, too old, too boring. The microphone picked up everything. And Jenna? She liked to talk to herself when she rehearsed. That afternoon, before she confessed to me, she'd been on the phone with someone. I'd heard the whole thing. "No, I'm going to tell him tonight. Just enough to make him pity me. If I act broken, he won't punish me. He's too soft for that. No, he still doesn't know about the second guy. Just Dustin. That's all I'm giving him. Yeah. I saved the backup plan. If it goes sideways, I'll say he hit me once. Nobody will question that. He looks the part. When I replayed it that night, I didn't feel anything. No rage. No heartbreak. Just the solid click of the last lock turning. Sunday, I sent the recording to 3 people. Her sister, her mother, and Lila. Subject line, before she tells you her version. I didn't sign it. Didn't need to. They knew my voice. And hers. By Tuesday, the phone calls started. From her mom first, long, quiet silence on the other end after I answered. Then just, "You deserve better, Luke." "I'm sorry." Lila didn't call. She blocked Jenna on everything instead. Her sister sent a single text. "I'm disgusted. She always said she'd never become mom. But this? This is worse." And Jenna? She spiraled. Hard. She showed up at my work. Outside the plumbing supply store wearing leggings and a hoodie like she was 19 again. "Luke, please," she said, gripping my arm. I stepped back. "You lied about me," I said flatly. "No, I never actually said you hit me. You said you'd say it. That's enough." People were watching. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't make a scene. She did that all on her own. That night, I filed the preliminary divorce paperwork. Didn't serve her. Just left it on the kitchen counter. She came home, saw the envelope, and stood there staring at it for almost 5 minutes. Then she picked it up and whispered, "I thought we could come back from this." I shook my head. "You burned the map." By now, word had gotten around. In small towns, it always does. And Jenna, the girl who used to walk into every room like she was sunlight, was now the woman people avoided at the farmer's market. I didn't have to take anything from her. She handed it over. One lie at a time. And I just helped her say it out loud. I never changed the locks. That's what made it worse for her. She kept waiting for the dramatic gesture, my final act of cruelty. A bolt, a deadbolt, a police escort. But I left the door exactly the same. Unlocked. Unchanged. Because I knew something she didn't. She'd never walk through it again. The morning after I filed the divorce, Jenna did something strange. She made French toast. Like she used to. Before Dustin. Before her little secret garden of lies bloomed behind motel walls. She set the table, poured juice, turned on music like it was 1999 and we'd never grown up or apart. I came down the stairs, still groggy, and found her smiling. "I figured we could talk," she said, sliding a plate across the table. "About what?" "About everything. I mean, we have years together. Emmy. Memories. It has to count for something. I sat down, ate slowly, watched her eyes scan my face for cracks, for a hint of nostalgia, regret, weakness. I gave her none. After a few minutes I said, "Why now?" She didn't answer right away. Then, because I'm scared. Honest. Maybe the first honest thing she'd said in months. I nodded. You should be. That night, she texted me a photo. An old one. From the first year of our marriage. We were sitting on the hood of my truck. She had her bare feet in my lap. We looked like idiots in love. Caption. I want to believe we were real. I didn't respond. Because we were real. She just didn't want real. She wanted worship. 2 days later, I got a call from her boss at the dental office. Polite. Hesitant. Hey Luke, I'm sorry to call you with this, but Jenna listed you as her emergency contact. She kind of had a breakdown in the parking lot. Apparently, someone had put a flyer on her windshield. Black and white. Simple font. Asked Jenna how many motel rooms she earned that smile in. No one saw who did it. Wasn't me. Didn't need to be. Because the lie she built her image on was a house of sugar. Rain always comes. When I picked her up, she didn't speak. Not a word. Just sat in the passenger seat like a child, knees pulled in, arms folded. I dropped her at her sister's place. Didn't go in. She didn't ask me to. As she got out, she turned to say something, maybe an apology, maybe an accusation. But I rolled up the window before she could. Not out of cruelty. Out of finality. The divorce went quick. No contest. She didn't fight for the house. Didn't fight for custody either, not really. She knew Emmy needed someone stable. And she'd finally realized that person wasn't her. A month later, she sent a letter. Not a text. Not a call. A real envelope mailed from her new address 2 towns over. Inside. You didn't destroy me. But you didn't save me either. I guess I thought you always would. I stared at the words for a long time. Because they weren't angry. They were hollow. A woman talking to a ghost she created. I burned the letter. Not out of hatred. But because it smelled like old perfume and memory. And I was done inhaling smoke. Emmy's doing well. She doesn't ask about her mom as much anymore. Sometimes she draws pictures with 4 stick figures, me, her, the dog, and someone named Nobody. I don't correct her. Because sometimes the absence of someone is more honest than the presence of who they pretended to be. People still talk, of course. Small towns are tight circles. But I never told anyone what she did. I didn't have to. She did it all herself. And now? She lives in another place, under another name on dating apps, trying to smile with teeth I paid for and stories I'll never read. She used to be the center of every room. Now she's the cautionary tale people whisper when they think no one's listening. And me? I sleep well. Because revenge isn't slamming doors or throwing punches. It's this. Silence. Peace. A life rebuilt with no need to look over your shoulder. The best revenge? Is never needing revenge again.
What do you think of the story? Write in the comments.